Ripples on Deep Water by Orphaned Account on AO3. Episode 23. Chapter 22. Young Volcanoes. Izuku realizes halfway to Mei's place that he never let go of Hitoshi's hand. Instead of letting go like he probably should, because people could get the wrong idea, he contents himself with studying in silence. He felt the roughness of calluses starting to form from the work Hitoshi's been doing. And it's thin, like Izuku's, but long enough to pass his. And Hitoshi's hands are warm. Are my hands cold? Yes. He jolts and looked to his friends, turning bright red. Shit. He said that out loud. Hitoshi doesn't pull his hand away, though, so he assumes it might be okay with him. It's like you're a vampire. He jokes, pale with dark hair and cold skin. You're gonna sparkle when I finally convince you to get some sunlight. Hitoshi, we're outside. He just snorts in response. A long pause, but it felt more comfortable than awkward. Do you think Hatsume will let me call her Mei? Izuku jolted again, not expecting to talk, and immediately went into emergency response mode because, god damn it, he can't think through his senses and panic at the same time. Kiss my ass. A beat. That's not what I intended to say. Hitoshi laughed loudly, and Izuku got a brief feeling of complete and utter euphoria. I meant to say, yeah. Speaking of, didn't Fee say something about friends having nicknames for each other? What if one day I just called Ban Ba 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 one day? He'd have an aneurysm. Izuku thought out loud, imagining the bad-tempered teen's face. Quiet. That was my way of subtly asking if I'm a high enough friend status to get a nickname, Izuku. Izuku glanced at Hitoshi, blood rushing to his cheeks. Hitoshi wanted a nickname. Well, I mean, he's cute. He shook that thought away as soon as it appeared. That was weird. Yeah, what about Toshi? Hitoshi actually stumbled, with a sputter, before laughing. Damn, okay, that's a good one. Izu. My aunt calls me that. Izuku-kun? Taken. Zuzu? Like those weird mice toys? Hit. Toshi made a face. You aren't making this easy. How about Zuku? Pause. Cool. Toshi rolled his eyes. They continued to walk in silence, hands interlocked, and Izuku had to tame the flush in his cheeks. What was going on with him? He and Toshi stepped in front of Mei's apartment building, and he shot a smile at Izuku. Their hands came undone, hesitantly, but for a few minutes after they stood in silence, their pinkies locked and faces red as they avoided each other's gaze. See you tomorrow, Zuku. Later hit Toshi. He stuttered, slowly drawing his hands from Toshi's. Why the hell was his throat all choked up? This was the worst, and somehow the best, feeling in the universe. The suffocating feeling of something. They stood with each other a few moments more before Toshi waved goodbye and began to walk down the street, away from Izuku. And Izuku walked inside. He puzzled over as he climbed up the stairs, pulling out his phone. Why am I freaking out over a nickname? Why did I want to hold hands with my friend? 5 ways to tell if you have a crush. One website told him cheerfully. Oh. Oh shit. Izuku ran the rest of the way up, practically exploding into the apartment. The Hatsume family was gathered around the table, and he heaved for air. Mei Mei, how do the gay crisis thing? Mei stared at her best friend. His face was flushed, eyes wide, and hands wrung his scarf anxiously. She couldn't help it. She laughed. Her mother leaned across the table. Kuru, you owe me 1,000 yen. Fucking damn it. Her father forked over the money with a scowl. Seriously, Squirt? Couldn't have it on a weekend or something? Izuku gasped, and May had to control her shaking shoulders. So, who's the lucky man that made you question your sexuality? He looked so genuinely distressed. Hitoshi? She doubled over, wheezing. May was a big gay and loved seeing others have their gay panics. It was always comedy gold, and Izuku was no exception. Oh, Kami, you're fucked. Shouta took a lot of pride in watching his students squirm. He had no idea what changed the day he walked into 1A that morning, despite the obvious transfer kids. But the dynamic was dramatically different. Everyone talked easily as usual, the friend groups, even if Bakugou's old sheik was shadowed in doubt and fear, until he released them for their normal classes, and he passed Shinso and Midoriya in the hallway when they were on their way to 1C's classroom, as usual, and he saw their pinkies linked. Just that. Neither spoke or mentioned it. The Shota smirked to himself. A different dynamic, indeed. He taught law during normal classes, but during extracurriculars, he didn't have anything to do until heroics classes. So naturally, he went to the developmental studio. Majami had told him Midoriya was demanding to see him. Walking in was a gift. Shinso was stuttering badly as he talked to Midoriya, which wasn't anything new, except for how Hatsume was very obviously laughing at them, and Midoriya was stuttering right back in the rare occurrence he spoke. Hey, Toshi, can you pass the welder? Oh, so that was it. Nicknames. Yeah. As amusing as this was to watch, he saw the other 1F's kids having a riot in the corner. He cleared his throat and watched the two practically jump out of their skin. Ah, Aizawa sensei. Midoriya brushed off the shock relatively well, starting to rummage around his desk, shoving different things aside. Majami sensei told you, then. Told me what? Midoriya gave him the most exhausted look. Your goggles are stupid. A pause. Excuse me? Don't get me wrong, they work. They're just suck. He pulled a pair of goggles that looked suspiciously like the kid's May visions out. Does your quirk work through glass? Yes. Great. He popped reflective lenses into the place of the goggles before using the welder to actually fuse it into place. These are an improved version of your goggles. They were even painted the same obnoxious yellow that Sashi liked so much. They have the same features as May Vision, but aren't connected to any lightning rods. It should block out wind, dirt, water, and, like, to keep your eyes from drying out faster, there's also a small canister here. He tapped at a spot on the strap that you can put your eye drops in, and if you press a button, it will spray a fine mist into your eyes. Also, Meme? Hatsume darted over and dumped a box in front of him. The brand you use sucks. My quirk, Zoom, puts a lot of strain on my eyes if I use it for too long. The mist thing was designed for me originally. This brand works a lot better than the ones you use. It's basically water with Solein and doesn't do much, but more expensive, but worth it. Shota squinted at the kids. They seem honest enough, he supposed. All right, fine. Mitsuki knew anger. She lived and breathed it. Not a day went by that anger didn't perpetrate something she did. It was just how she lived her life, angrily and with more intimidation than strictness necessary. But she hadn't used that anger to lash out at someone who didn't deserve it once. Mitsuki knew anger, but she had no idea what to do with this level of it. Masaru knew anger. He lived in a house full of it, and not a day went by without his wife and son getting into a screaming match. It was just the way he lived his life, quietly in a chaotic household. A steady rock in the storm, he knew life was like for his family. Matsuru knew anger, but he had no idea what to do with his own. How could she have failed completely to see it? That her son, her pride and joy, was abusing. There really was no other word for it. Her nephew, Izuku. Izuku, whose smile could outshine the sun, whose passion outmatched anyone she has ever known, whose intelligence was beyond what she had ever seen before. Izuku was gifted. He was incredible, and Katsuki treated him worse than shit because the one thing Izuku was not blessed with was a quirk. When Aizawa-san put the terms of Katsuki's expulsion in front of Mitsuki, she read it carefully before signing, and even adding a few more things on herself as she spoke, trying to ignore the stormy energy her husband had when he took Katsuki to the car. He completely missed it. He missed it. Completely, and he doesn't know how. Katsuki scarred Izuku, likely mentally and emotionally as well as physically, and acted as if it didn't really matter when he was confronted. Izuku was shy. He was anxious. He was quiet. Not unlike himself, really. And this entire thing was turning on its head. Was Izuku ever shy? Or was he scared of earning a new bully? Was Izuku ever anxious? Or was he waiting for a beating? Was Izuku ever quiet? Or was he keeping his mouth shut so he wouldn't set off Katsuki? Mitsuki sent him and Katsuki out while she discussed the terms of their son's expulsion before she talked him to the house about how other punishments. He tried to ignore how his wife was nearly silent, her energy confused instead of focused. Bakugou Katsuki is barred from ever entering a hero school as a student or receiving a hero license. He will receive mandatory therapy from a professional in anger management and be tested for mental disorders, such as sociopathy. A restraining order will be filed against him. He may not interact with Midoriya Izuku in any way, shape, or form unless Midoriya allows and initiates, and even then he must be with at least 2 witnesses ready to intervene. He will have a mark on his record for assault, but no arrest. Bakugou Mitsuki. Bakugou Masaru. I'm glad that Bakugou's getting, the reprimands that he deserves. I loved this chapter so much. We have finally the Izuku and Hitoshi both have feelings for each other. It's mutual, and hopefully maybe they get together soon. And we get to see that, considering we're almost at the halfway mark, and I really do love when stories have them get together towards the halfway mark instead of towards the end. I love that. Sorry, my voice is fucked. My voice is fucked. I don't think you understand how fucked my voice is. My voice is fucked. I'm recording this the day before I did my stream on Monday, the 8th of June, and of 2026. Duh. And my throat is fried. My throat is fried. My throat is so fucking fried. I don't think you understand how fried my voice is. I had to drink tea this morning, and I was like, shit, am I getting sick? I have a sore throat. And I'm like, wait, no, it's not that I'm getting sick. I just did a 8-hour stream, almost 8 hours and a half, because it was 8 hours and 22 minutes, I believe. Right, so it wasn't an 8-hour stream, but it was an 8-hour and a half stream. But it almost reached that halfway point. I'm just gonna say 8 hours and a half of just pure talking, and half of that was spent with me just pure screaming. Yeah, part of that is just me screaming. I'm in shock. at how much screaming was done by me. Either way, I really love this chapter. I'm glad, reprimands are happening. The next chapter is called Natural. Summary: Izuku and Hitoshi have their first hero class. Not everyone is who they claim to be. What do you mean by that? What do you mean by that? Anyways, as always, my raindrops, make sure to eat, sleep, drink water, take your meds. Have a wonderful day or night. Link to my Discord server or socials are down in the description. Subscribe. Oh, Jesus Christ. Subscribe to see more of my content, and thank you so much for watching. I almost started choking.